Hi everyone, and thank you for watching this month's webinar from myself at Jam Advertising. Today's topic is about creating your business plan in order to optimize your marketing spend. I have many questions from clients about how do I optimize my marketing spend, and in all honesty, a lot of the time it actually comes back to a lack of planning from the beginning. So if you can take a little bit of time to set up a business plan, what I do in my strategic workshops is I then work from that business plan to understand what those business objectives are, which then leads into what your overall marketing objectives are. From that point, then you can plan effectively for your marketing activity and the implementation. So before you switch off this webinar and groan about the idea of a business plan, they definitely don't have to be ridiculously long documents that you're never going to look at again with every element that you could possibly think of stepped out. What I really think you need to focus on is trying to make it, to begin with, one page. And if you can focus and make your business plan as succinct as possible in that one page, you'll find that you'll be really careful with the words that you're using, and your key objectives will really bubble to the top in terms of how you want to drive your business forward. So I've got some tips on how to really quickly and easily start a business plan to get you on the road to your planning, and then obviously from that point work on your marketing objectives. Instead of taking notes, I'm actually going to post a blog about this as well, just so that you can pick up the different headings and the way that I would structure a business plan if I was working on your business. So as I said, let's start by keeping it simple and really think about the answers to the following questions that you want to make as succinct as possible. If it's too complicated to you, just remember that it's going to be too complicated to your customer, and therefore you won't communicate your objectives in your communication pieces as well as perhaps you should be. So first of all, it's really understanding why are you in the business that you're in. So ask yourself, what problem do you solve for your customer? Secondly, ask yourself what sets you apart and what are you doing differently to others in your market. I've actually done a separate webinar about positioning to help you kind of hone in on this area a little bit further. The next question to ask is, what resources do you allocate to this business? So consider the money you have in the bank, consider the people that you require, whether that's in-house staffing or potentially outsourcing, and really determine as succinctly as you can your needs and budget to make your business work. Then I want you to think about your goals. So table up your short-term goals, which are your 3, 6, and 12 months, and then also your long-term goals, which are 2, and if you can extend to 5 years. So for example, if a 5-year goal would be to sell your business, work back from that point. But make sure you make them realistic and measurable. I'm sure you've all heard about SMART goals before. So it's really important to go down a path when you are goal setting to not be too vague about what it is you want to achieve, because then you won't really get to the point where you'll feel that you've made the success of your attempts. And lastly, your marketing strategy. So the top key points about who your customer is, what your competitive landscape looks like, and any key points about your market that you know. Again, this is just really succinct, a few sentences, a few bullet points. If you're making it as succinct as possible and have a really good solid plan, then what that does is it leads into drilling down into your tactical marketing plan and where you'll focus your efforts. If we don't have those succinct goals in mind and the objectives, and particularly the resources, then we're really going to be approaching marketing with a very much a scattergun approach, which is never going to get you an effective long-term strategic growth. You might get some short-term quick results, but you'll find that they'll be quick, and then all of a sudden your results will drop off because you're not being strategic about building that marketing. As you may have picked up from some of my webinars, I am very strong in that strategic focus because I truly believe that that's what drives business growth, and otherwise we don't see that solid growth year on year that we want to, particularly if you do have, say, for example, a longer term goal of selling your business. So once you're happy with that one pager, or let it extend to 2, then post it up in your office, share it with your team, whatever it is you need to do to make sure that your path of achieving what it is you set out to do is in front of you, front and center in everything that you do. So as I said, if you can make it as succinct as possible into those 1 or 2 pages, then what you've got is it in front of you all the time. And when you're actually looking at focusing your marketing efforts, you'll be looking at those objectives of your business and making sure that there's a linkage between the two. So that's it. I never want to talk too long in these things, but really the key goal is to be as succinct as possible in your planning, answer those key 5 questions that I spoke about, and then from that point, drill down to your marketing objectives, and therefore you'll be optimizing those resources that you've put aside, and you'll be making sure that your marketing strategic and your objectives are linking to your overall business objectives. As always, I help with business planning and strategic positioning of your brand, so please feel free to contact me at jamadvertising.com.au. And thanks very much for listening.